everything is cut off at their shoulder level. At least one base or continuous back splatter must maintain contact with the flyer during all transitions. So they can't just launch the flyer in the air and catch her somewhere else. Inversions are allowed now. So they can do a handstand over to sponge. That's on your progression sheet that we'll go over. Dismounts, cradles from 2-leg extensions, prep level single leg stents, and prep level 2-leg stents may not exceed more than 1 1/4 twisting. So just while we're on that now, we're going to show you a prep level arabesque by 40. 1 1/4 is 540 degrees.
5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So they can be in one leg at this level and do a 540 to the front.
1 1/4 to the front, 1, 2.
But no more twisting than that.
Janice.
And it has to be from the shoulder level. They cannot be at the top and do that much twisting. Release moves. No release moves are allowed other than the ones allowed in dismounts. Braced TikToks are allowed in pyramids, so we'll go over that when we do the pyramid section. Tosses, sponge squishies, scrunch tosses are allowed but must be caught in a cradle position by the original bases and are limited to one trick non-twisting. So we're going to show you a one trick, which is a ball out. Ball out basket.
1, 2.
So the flyer goes up, she hits a tuck position, and comes back out. And it's caught. Now, technically, she's going into 2 tricks because she's hitting a ball and she's opening back out to the arch position. The reason we're not counting that arch as a trick is it's not safe for me to tell Katie to go up and hit a ball, but that's your one trick, so now you have to come down. She's going to cannonball down to her bases, that's not fair. So a tuck out or a pike out, the arch is not considered an extra trick. They are allowed. A ball star, this would be an example of illegal 2 tricks.
1, 2.
She goes up, she hits the ball, start, and then into the cradle. That star or X position, that's not required to safely be caught by your bases. So that's showing you're elite and ready to be into a higher level, so that would be illegal. Does everyone understand the difference between those two? Okay. So going into pyramids, the flyer must maintain contact with at least one base at all times. Exception, brace TikToks, either high to high, low to high, switch up, ball ups. They're allowed if the flyer is continually braced between 2 extension preps. Okay, so if we're all in preps, she can be let go by all of her bases and ball up to a stunt, or she can TikTok to her other foot. That's fine. All her bases can let go if Natalie and I are both holding on to her. What is not allowed is those pyramids where they actually ball up and they let go of the flyer and she either comes down to her back or she goes into a V-sit, or some of them do splits. Those are not considered upright standing positions. Okay, so they either need to ball up either into a QP or a lib or a free stretch if they wanted, no keeping the head. Or they could ball up and just be in a sponge if they need to recatch and come back up again. Those would all be allowed. Splits, V-sits, teddy bears, back, none of those would be allowed. Cool? So going over your progression sheet, for junior midgets, for level 3, they can do a straight up liberty with a cradle. Straight cradle.
Straight up liberty. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, 7, 8. Cradle. 1, 2.
They can do all the variations allowed, but from the top level, they can only quarter turn cradle. So if you guys do a arabesque extended level with a quarter turn to the front.
Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1.
So even though from the prep level they were allowed to do that 1 1/4 twisting, from the extended level they can only do the quarter now. Now here's all the 360 kind of variations we have. They can do a 360 to sponge.
360 to sponge. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 3, 5.
And go ahead and stay there. They can do 360 up to prep.
1, 2.
And they can do a 360 back around to prep. So full around prep.
1, 2.
and they can do a fast forward, so back down the sponge.
Ready, 1, 2.
So all of those are 360-degree twists by the flyer, but they're all from hip level or below. During that transition, the bases are allowed to extend their arms up. That's good technique to lift up and back through. But if you notice, Brandon, he never let go of Katie's foot. Her foot is pivoting on the pad of his hand. Okay? They can also do full twist cradle from 2 leg stunts. So a cut pull now.
Ready, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 3. Pull down. 1, 2.
And now this is the first time they get to do inversion. So I'll have you actually turn to the side for this one. They will do a handstand over to the sponge position.
5, 6, 7, 8, 1.
So Katie actually handstands on the ground. They lift her up and over into the sponge. Okay, so that's allowed. The only thing with this that gets a little confused with teams that compete is sometimes they lift the flyer and they bring her straight down to the ground. Okay, you can't do that because that's not landing in a load in mount position. So from the handstand, you have to either come through and land 2 feet in a sponge or 1 foot on the ground, other foot to a base. You cannot just bring them straight down and stand on their own. That would be illegal assistance on plane. Yes.
Five, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 3.
Okay, and now they get to start doing some cool transitional stunts, so they can do leapfrogs to the same set of bases. Now this is legal because Ruben is going to have hand-to-hand contact with both hands to Katie the entire time. So leapfrogs to same bases.
Ready, 1, 2.
So Brandon and Natalie move and re-catch. Or they can actually do it to new bases too. So I'm going to have Ben come out here.
Ready. And 1, 2.
So Ben and I were new bases. She toppled over, still legal because she had Ruben holding on the whole time. So those are what we call leapfrogs. And they can do single trick, non-twisting basket tosses. So just like we talked about the